Hey, everyone. Welcome. Let me make sure my mic is on. Hey, guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here on this channel. We try to cover all things reality, TV news, and gossip, as well as trending topics. Today, we're going to be doing our Mama June recap, but a lot of the recaps really just going to be me going over how mind blown this past episode was. It's caused like this domino effect of craziness to happen that I've been trying to keep up with because ever since the episode came out Friday, Alana's been on live talking about how she has no money. Hey, Brittany, so glad you could join us. Alana's been on live talking about how she's like out of her $33,000 now and she's late on her payments for college. People's been calling Pumpkin out, like, well, where's your money? Like, you should have money for Alana as well. You took her in. Like, what happened with that? Pumpkins explained her side of things. June went on live Friday night. Justin didn't even do a live. Normally, Mama June and Justin, they both go live during the episode as it's airing. You can kind of hear it, in the background playing. And they're kind of discussing the episode, right? So Justin didn't even go live. He's like, I'm not doing it. I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash. We're going to get a lot of heat. So he did not even go live. June did go live. And I don't have her live recorded, but I heard a lot about it. I had so many people messaging me saying, oh my God, you should have seen June's live. She was getting so much heat. People were calling her out. And she exposed a lot of things concerning Alana. Like people were calling her out. And she's like, Alana's lived on her own since she was 15 anyways. I tried to tell y'all. Who tried to tell y'all? Y'all, I tried to tell y'all that Alana, now the story got, she's like, oh, she's been living on her own since she was 15 anyways. And she said with Draylon. And then Pumpkin's like, no, it was with Jessica. She moved in with Jessica and some of Jessica's friends, and Draylon just moved in with them. And then Jessica got with Cheyenne and moved out. But June initially said, from my understanding, that she moved in with Draylon at 15. I was told, it was my understanding, my source said that they thought she was 16, but it was very close. So my understanding was when Pumpkin found out she was pregnant with the twins, shortly after that, Alana moved in with Draylon. She moved out because there was really no room for them to bring in more kids, right? So I kind of did the calculations, went back and I talked to my source and I said, does this seem right? And they're like, yeah, that seems pretty accurate. So if you bring it back to when Pumpkin, around the time she found out she was pregnant, Alana would have been 16 for 2 months. Now, June says 15. My source says she thinks she had just turned 16. Either way, she was 15 or 16 and she moved out. So June, in trying to defend her actions, she's throwing her kids further under the bus. She really is. June can't just be like, you know what? I messed up. I made a mistake. It is what it is. I spent her money. I was in my addiction. I shouldn't have done it. So for that reason, I'm going to pay for her college. That's what June should do. What June should do is she should say, my daughter, Alana Thompson, Honey Boo Boo, has been on TV since she was 6. But honestly, I think she was actually around 4 when she started doing Toddlers and Tiaras. So she's been on TV since she was 4, 6 years old. Alana should have millions of dollars. I literally have been trying to think of a roundabout. Okay, she's done this, she's done that. She's had the Honey Boo Boo box. She's did Dance with the Stars. She's did the Masked Singer. She, y'all remember the Honey Boo Boo box, the subscription box? It was like maybe $25 to $50 a month. I don't remember. She did commercials. I mean, there's so many things just outside of the show that she should have been paid for. Alana should have money. Okay. What June should have did is said, yep, I spent it. I'm sorry. And for that reason, I am going to pay for your college. The fact that June blew through her daughter's money, and you guys, here, let's keep it 100, okay? June did not just blow through Alana's money. June spent Anna's money, Alana's money, Pumpkin's money, Jessica's money, and guess who else's money, you guys? Caitlin's money. I'm going to do a whole video on that, I do believe, because I started looking back in the lawsuit between Anna and June whenever Anna filed the lawsuit against her mom for stealing her money. And guess what was revealed in that? The lawsuit filed on Monday, so this is an older article, names Cardwell's mother, June Shannon, as well as Honey Boo Boo LLC and claims they were in control of the money that was meant to be put into a trust for Cardwell, which is Anna, and for her daughter, Caitlin. Caitlin was on the show for about a year and a half or so, right? Even after they moved to Alabama, they had one episode where they went to Alabama to see Anna, Caitlin, and Michael. And this is not a storyline. I know a lot of people's like, oh, y'all are crazy for believing this. Listen, I've talked to my sources. This is not a storyline. This is what the girls knew. Pumpkin and Alana knew that June, the Honey Boo Boo money was gone. They did know that. They knew that. But June has been telling them that there was money in the Coogan account. So that's what they were expecting. They were expecting the money from the Coogan account. Oh, no doubt she pocketed the Sugar Bear money, probably. I mean, Gino probably helped her spend like his portion of the money because I don't think Gino's one to let somebody get one over on him. Like Gino's like, no, where my check at? I don't think so, but so yeah, I would have to reach out to Sugar Bear and really find out more about this. But yeah, so I talked to my sources who said that Caitlin should have been making money as well for her short period on the show. It was only like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Anna believed that she should have had anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 for her time on the show, and that Caitlin should have been owed close to $100,000. Y'all, in the court filings, Anna and her attorney filed years ago that she thought her estimated would be anywhere from 200 to 300, and Caitlin's would be close to 100. So she had already stolen money from Caitlin. Caitlin, do you know this? I mean, allegedly, according to, what Anna said in her court filing, right? We're going to do this recap, you guys. I'm going to be hyped. I do apologize. And I will say, I've reached out to several sources to say, is this a storyline? You guys tell me what the deal is. And they're like, no, actually, this is not a storyline. Like the girls really thought the Coogan account money would have hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. They really did. They really thought that June put all of like Dancing with the Stars and some of the Masked Singer. They really thought that she put all of the money in there because that's what she told them. She told them that all this money went in there and led them to believe this. So while they knew that the Honey Boo Boo money was gone, it was what it was. They were shocked to find this out, and it just kind of brought up the fact that you blew through our Honey Boo Boo money too. Like, what kind of person does this? Yo, give me just a second. Oh my goodness, I'm such a weirdo. Like, I have a rack in my office, and my clothes hanger from where I grabbed this shirt off of was slanted, and I had to fix it. It was driving me insane. Okay, so we're gonna do the recap, and you guys forgive me. Listen, let me take my anxiety medicine because I already know. Rescue Remedy, natural stress relief. This stuff helps me. You have anxiety, I have really bad anxiety. I can't take prescription medicine for it because it knocks me out. Box Rescue Remedy. All natural. It really helps. It's nasty, but it helps. Maybe this is what Dodo was covering up for her. No. Dodo didn't know about this. Dodo thought there was money in there as well. When Dodo said, I've covered for you, she just means like, I think she just means like defend and stuff like that. Glad you're on the man. Can you recommend some software for editing audio and video, please? Yes, I will at the end of this video. Just remind me, okay? Just don't let me forget. I have so many little clips that we're going to go over. Oh, let's just get into it. Let's just get into the recap, okay? Also, you can watch it for free on YouTube. They do have it up right now. I'll link it because you can usually find the episodes on YouTube about a day or two after they come out, so you can watch them for free. Even Kel Lowry said on a live that Alana should have had almost 7 figures in her account and should have, 1,000%. 1,000%. And I think I'll do a video about Kel responding to this as well. I saw a lot of people saying, Kel, you need to get Alana and Pumpkin on your podcast. And I'm like, yes, do it. Get them on your podcast to talk about this. Because if anybody knows, Kel's gonna know. Let Kale sit them down and say, listen, girls, this is the reality of it. Your mama made enough money on her own standing alone. June made enough money alone to take them on vacations and give them a lavish lifestyle on her own. She didn't have to use their money. The thing about it is she was using their money for vacations. And this is just my opinion. She was using their money for the vacations and the lavish lifestyle and using her money for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she admits it in the show. She throws out all kind of reasons. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going off my little, let me get my little script up really quickly. It's really sad, honestly. And I see a lot of people saying, well, Alana can just get a job. She's worked since she was a baby. She shouldn't have to, honestly. If this was my child and like her dad had done this to her and my child, and here's the thing, a lot of people don't look at reality television as work, but it is because you have call times, you have times you have to be at set, you have days where you film for 10 hours a day. Alana at 8, 9 years old couldn't go hang out with her friend, couldn't go do sleepovers when they were filming because she had to be there to film. She had to sit in the chair and say what the producers told her to say. And you know what I'm saying? She had to go, like, no, this is a job. It really is. It may not be a job like, working at Walmart or working in corporate America, but it is a job. And she really did have to alter her life as a child to be there to film. The anxiety stuff is called Box Original Flower Remedies, a rescue remedy. And let me tell you guys, I have extreme anxiety. I have debilitating anxiety at times to where I cannot catch my breath. I can't work. And this hurt. This helps. It's nasty as all get out. 4 drops on the tongue, and it helps. Can her dad help her out at all? I've been so busy lately, and I've had so much going on in my life. I haven't had time to reach out to Sugar Bear, and I think he would. And Sugar Bear can't contribute as much as like June because Sugar Bear has like a regular job where he's making like maybe, $25 an hour, where June is making $45,000 a month or like something crazy like that. Um, but I think he would probably help her. And I don't think he took any of the money because Sugar Bear continued to work. And I don't think he really kept up with the money. Oh, it comes in gummies too. I need to try the gummies because that. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. Let me keep my patience because Lord knows. Why can't, where are you? Okay. All right. So previous episodes, Alana has decided to go to college in Colorado. Draylon has got permission to go despite his legal challenges. Anna is in the middle of her cancer treatments. June and Justin have moved from Alabama to Georgia to be closer to the girls, specifically Anna. Um, as college quickly approaches, Pumpkin, Alana, Josh, and Draylon have flown out to Colorado to tour the school and to find a place for Alana and Draylon to live. Unfortunately, due to Alana having no credit, she was not approved for the first house that they stopped at. She also recently found out that her scholarship would not cover her tuition. She will need $11,000 per semester to pay for her classes. So Alana decides to ask her mom if she could help pay for a semester or two, considering all of Alana's money from the Honey Boo Boo days was spent by June Shannon. June gave nothing to her girls for the show. I mean, outside of like living expenses that they should not have been paying for. So Alana figured that June would be willing to help her, but June said no. June said no, she was not going to help Alana with college because she said that if Alana couldn't invest in herself, then why would she? I'm like, is June, and I don't say this to be like, I'm really wondering, is June like mentally stunted? And I think that she may be because your daughter going to college is investing in herself. What do you mean? That is the ultimate investment for an 18-year-old to go to college. Like, what? I'm like, did I hear that right? Did she just say, why should I invest in Alana if she don't want to pay for herself? Like, why should I invest in Alana if she don't want to invest in herself? It's college, June Shannon. What are you talking about? I'm like beyond. Like, what? Does she think that whatever she says, we're going to buy it, or does she believe this herself? I don't know. Oh, Oh, she also said she was trying to show her tough love. Girl, you've shown Alana Thompson tough love since she was about 11 years old, okay? When you abandoned her, in my opinion, when you embarrassed her with your mugshot, when you embarrassed her with, selling their house and being high as a kite, talking so loud in the video that was leaked that you can't even understand what you're saying. Like, you have shown this girl the definition of tough love. What are you talking about? Alana knew, though, that she had a Coogan account and figured there should be a few hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. So she asked her mom to look into getting the money out of the Coogan account so she could pay for her school as well as her living. June lied to the girls when they first brought up the Coogan account. June said, well, you can't withdraw it until you're 21. No, it's 18. It's 18. Jessica didn't know this either. Jessica thought it was 21 as well, but they knew that allegedly June paid for Jessica's with money or whatever. So she's like, well, can't you do it for school? Like, isn't there like a clause that if you're going to do it for school, you can use it? Like, you can get it out for like medical or for school? I'm like, you legit just lied to them that you can't get it out until they're 21. And I'm like, that is a whole nother, like, as the mom, your daughter's going to college. She needs money. You don't want to pay for it. She has thousands of dollars in an account, and you tell her, oh, but you can't touch that yet. You're really not trying to help your daughter at all. You're actually trying to hurt your daughter. Like, in my opinion, June was literally really trying to stop Alana from going to school. So the episode picks up with Alana and Pumpkin heading back to the B&B. Here we are. Let's back it up. I literally go through these commercials a million times to make sure they don't get picked up when we're doing this live, but they always do. Okay, so here's the girls. They are heading back to the B&B after touring the college, after stopping to get some food. Draylon was supposed to fill out resumes while the girls were gone. Because, when they moved to Colorado, they want him to have a job. And I'm like, yes, he needs to have a job. Let's let Draylon have a job. He definitely needs to have a job. So when they left, they're like, Draylon, fill out applications, right? He's like, all right, got you. So anyways, Josh decides to help Draylon. This is such a funny part. Josh decides to help Draylon with the resume. So Draylon's like, I don't know what to put. Like, what do I put on this resume? And Josh is like, well, what do you do? And what did I call this last night? They made an oopsie. Josh and Draylon made an oopsie because the show has portrayed Draylon as being an Uber rider because his license is suspended. But Draylon's like, I don't know what to do with the resume. What do I put on it? And Josh is like, well, you always drive the kids and Alana around. Oopsie. Y'all told off on him. He's like, put transportation specialist. How are you a transportation specialist when your driver's license is suspended? What? But, that's probably a part of the script. Like, they probably really didn't put transportation specialist on a resume. I mean, to be quite honest, he may have not even filled out a resume because he's facing charges. His license is suspended. So he probably was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get a job right now with this hanging over my head. But I thought that it was pretty funny. In a confessional, Josh says that if anybody knows how to get creative with a resume, it's him. We're going to watch a little clip really quickly because I did think that it was kind of funny.
I bet those boys ain't did nothing all day. So they fill out a few resumes.
So what should I put down on my resume?
I mean, what have you done? I mean, you babysit. You've taken the kids to different places. Transportation specialist.
Hold up. What could be fleeing from the police? What's a good one to come up with I don't know. What's one we could fleeing from the police? How could we give that something cool to go on a resume? What could that be? Fleeing from the police. I don't know, you guys help me out. What would that be? Anyways, but I caught that there. I'm like, wait, Draylon doesn't drive though. He's always in an Uber because his license is suspended.
So
see, he's like, well, I take you everywhere with my no license having butt. That's right. Stunt driver. Yes, he could have put stunt driver. Law enforcement evacuation specialist. Yes. Stunt driver, law enforcement evacuation specialist. What training? law enforcement training, like something to train them on pit maneuvers, evasion expert. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Let's continue. Alana's shadow. Okay, I love that. And one thing that I have seen with Alana from time to time is her kind of getting out of like the way that she was raised. Like Pumpkin didn't really seem to have a problem with it. Josh surely didn't. He gave him the idea to kind of, you know, shift the truth into sounding more professional or whatever. So Josh didn't have a problem with it. Pumpkin really didn't seem to either. She's like, stretching the truth like mom does. Not a big deal. Like, let him do it. And Alana's like, no, though. Like, you don't need to be lying. You don't need to be stretching the truth, or you're going to end up without a job, and we're not going to be able to pay for us to live out here. So I did like the fact that she was like, no, 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 we're not doing that. Also, in one episode when they're on campus, Pumpkin's like just walking around cursing, and Alana's like, can you please stop cursing? So I like that she's like, stop that, Hey, Lacey. Hey, Summer. How are you doing? Josh used to work with Sugar Bear. I think that was not that didn't really happen. So a lot of people think that, but that was on the show. So I thought that as well. So Josh and Sugar Bear are related. It was a script for the show. Sugar Bear didn't own the company. One of his friends did. So they just did that for the show to make it look like he started working with Sugar Bear. He really did. That was strictly for the script. Okay. All right, let's jump back over here. All right, so right after that happens, when she's kind of telling Draylon, like, you can't start stretching the truth on resumes or you're not going to be able to get a job. As she's talking, her phone dings and she's like, realtor. And she reads the message from the realtor, and the realtor's telling her that she's not approved for the second place that they looked at due to having no credit. Alana is like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have no credit. I'm 18. And Alana's like, well, Pumpkin's like, well, Alana, you may just end up having to pay a little bit more in rent because you don't have no credit. And Alana asked Pumpkin, she's like, well, do you think you and Dada could co-sign for me to have a place? And they're like, no, 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 we can't because we have no credit. And then they explain how, like, living in Georgia, it's kind of like who um, you always know somebody that owns rent houses, or they know somebody that owns rent houses, so you can usually get in a house without having credit. And Pumpkin says, she's like, Mama didn't teach us about credit growing up, so I knew nothing about it. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't suspect that she did. I think in school, they should teach you about building your credit. I mean, I took a financial education class, but they still didn't teach us about credit. And I really think that they should. So, yeah, they're like, yeah, we have no credit, unfortunately. Like, we're just now working on our own credit. We jump over to Jessica's house. They are getting ready to take the kids back to Pumpkin's because Pumpkin and Josh and Alana and Draylon will be in soon. So they're, like, we got to get the kids ready in a minute. And June and Justin unexpectedly show up. June claims she showed up because she just wanted to spend time with the kids and Jessica. After they get there, Jessica sends Pumpkin a message. Let me see if I can get to the part. Hold on. Okay. So Jessica first sends Pumpkin a message saying, like, hey, Mama's here. She showed up for no reason. So Pumpkin responds back, ask her if she has the Coogan stuff. Got you with them finger quotes, guys. So she's like, ask her about the Coogan account. So Jessica does ask her. She's like, so do you have what Pumpkin needed as far as the Coogan account? And June's like, yes. And she goes to talk. Like, June goes to, like, talk about it. And Jessica's like, that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. Glad you have it. She's like, well, listen, they're going to be home in a couple of hours. Let's go ahead. Let's pack these kids up and let's go ahead. Let's head on over there. And Jessica tells June and Justin, she's like, all Pumpkin asked for when she got back was for us to have her kids home asleep and to have Mexican food on the table and for you to have that Coogan account stuff. So y'all, Gigi and Grandpa, Gramps, whatever they were calling him. What were they calling him? I don't remember. They're like, y'all stop at the Mexican place, pick up the food, and meet us over there. How do places think an 18-year-old has credit? That's just great. That's always been the craziest thing to me. It's like, we can't extend credit to you because you have no credit. And I'm like, never going to get it either, you know? All right. So they all load up and they head. Oh, look at it. I swear them kids are so cute. Look, look. They got him in a box in a little tote. He's chilling like a villain. Oh, Albert Einstein that invented electricity. anyways, I always get so tickled. Here's the thing, y'all. If this is who they really were, like, anyways, let me just continue. Jessica didn't and Pumpkin don't discipline the kids. I saw that. And I really think, though, I'm gonna give you y'all my honest opinion about Ella, like, throwing that ball. I think producers told her to. The way she, like, immediately when she threw it, she looked to the side. She either looked to the side because she was looking for, like, confirmation, like, I did what you told me, or because she thought that maybe somebody standing over there in that direction may say something to her. Y'all know I'm taking body language, and not that I'm an expert at all, but the way she threw it and immediately looked over, she was looking for something. Affirmation. Yeah, thank you. You did what I told you. Or like, oh crap, you're going to get on to me. And to me, it looked like she was looking for affirmation. Like, I did what you said. So I think production told her to do that. All right. So they head on over to, they're on their way to Pumpkin's. On the way to Pumpkin's house, June and Justin are in the car. Justin reminds June that while, they're going to bring the stuff for the Coogan account over there, the forms for the Coogan account, that they're not going over to fight with the girls about this college situation. He tells June, he's like, listen, you just need to make sure you got your ducks in a row, but no fighting. And June says that she does. She's like, oh, I got my ducks in a row. I got the bank statement to Alana's Coogan account right here. All right, we're going to watch another little clip really quickly. I got several clips that we're going to watch of the episode, so you guys bear with me. What? Thank you. She's worked since she was like 4 or 6. Thank you, my butt. I mean, I should have did the math before I got on the live, but I'm trying to think. $33,000. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. 14 years of work. Yeah, $33,000 is no money. And let's not even say that she started at 4. Let's just say she started at 6, which Dodo was like, no, it was actually like 4. So 12 years. That's less than $3,000 a year. That is less than $3,000 a year.
A lot of money that she's going to have access to that normal 18-year-olds don't even have a fraction of what is in this bank account. And it's all right here, period, point blank.
And in my personal opinion, it's all right there because you couldn't touch it. I feel like if that was an account that June could have later come back and dipped her hands into, that money wouldn't be there either. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like if she could have possibly, in her addiction, rather than selling her house, she would have went there first. All right. So so they arrived at, hold on. All right. So June, Justin, Jessica, Cheyenne, and the kids all show up at Pumpkin's house. They show up before Pumpkin. So June and Justin and Alana and Cheyenne, they go in, and Cheyenne and Jessica, they're like, y'all go put the kids to bed. We did it for the past few nights. Y'all go put the kids to bed. And June's like, I got this. I can put the kids to bed. So they go upstairs and they put the kids to bed. But it was still daylight outside, so I really don't think the kids went to bed. I think they went somewhere. I don't know. Maybe one of the producers was up there with the kids, kind of keeping them quiet. But it was like legit daylight outside. It seemed like it was like 2 o'clock in the evening. I don't know. Either way, Pumpkin, Alana, and Draylon and Josh, they show up like an hour later. Pumpkin walks in. She's like, "Where's my kids?" And June's like, "Oh, I got them to sleep." Alana feels like she knows June's secret weapon to getting the kids asleep. And she's like, "Oh, let me guess." Let's watch it.
Got the kids asleep.
Let me guess, but you're infamous. Night.
It got y'all asleep many nights.
I hate that song.
Okay. I love how she said, "Let me guess," with the infamous night. She said the infamous. The infamous. It's the infamous, but honestly, her saying that, I hope that was not like part of a script, because to hear that maybe June did have some sort of like motherly I can't even think of what I'm trying to say. That she did have things that she did with the kids, like putting them to sleep, to where Alana could remember that. Like, and Alana does have a good memory that her mom sang the same song to all of them to put them to sleep. So I hope that's not just for the script. I hope that really did happen for them. And I do have some things to address as far as like, okay, so somebody asked if I know the family. Let me find that comment. Okay, Cindy says, "Do you know the family personally, AL, or just an observer like us?" So for years, I've actually watched the show I've watched this family since Toddlers and Tiaras. I followed them from Toddlers and Tiaras to Honey Boo Boo to Mama June and all of that. I started covering them on this channel, and then I started getting sources, family members. I've had Sugar Bear on my channel. I've done like 3, I think, interviews with him. Several family members that I do talk to, also very close sources that I talk to that know the family. I mean, Dodo has went live on TikTok, and Dodo has literally been like, "Elle is on the nose with her information." She's like, Elle will literally talk about conversations that was had at Pumpkin's house, at June's house, where there was only like 4 or 5 people there, and I was one of them. And she will talk about it word for word almost. Dodo has literally like given me the stamp of like she knows what she's talking about. She gets 99.9% of what she says about our family right. And it's because I do have a lot of sources close to the family and some even in the family. So also June's surgery was not paid for by any money. June's old manager, Gina Rodriguez, actually, Gina's from California. She manages a lot of reality TV celebrities, and she's really good friends with doctors, plastic surgeons, and things like that. So June's weight loss surgery was actually a sponsored deal and they covered it on the show, right? So the doctors got recognized for it. They talked about who did the surgery, and it was kind of like a brand deal of sorts. So June's surgery did not cost them any money. Justin's teeth was the same thing. Gina got Justin's teeth done as a brand deal. So I know a lot of people's like, all of that. But I will say that's not, that's not really the case, You're welcome, Cindy. Okay, so let's get back to the episode really quickly. I love that she's like the now infamous. All right, so everybody fixes them a plate. They sit down to eat. June starts asking them about the trip, asking them if they found a place to live. Pumpkin says that they found some places, but because Alana has no credit, she wasn't approved for the place she applied for. June said, "Well, I told y'all that." And Pumpkin's like, "No, you didn't. You didn't teach us about credit." And June's like, "Yes, I did. I did teach y'all about credit." And Pumpkin's like, "No, you did not." And June's like, "Well, I mean, I didn't start talking to y'all about credit when y'all were, 12, but I did talk to y'all about it later on." And she's like, "No, you didn't." So they're like calling her out, like, "You did not tell us about credit. Why would you even say you told us about credit?" "No, you didn't." But to be quite honest, my mama didn't tell me nothing about credit either. I mean, she didn't, not until I got a look, like I was like 17 when I had my first discussion with my mom about credit. I need to start talking to my kids about credit because it is really important, Okay, so the guys are at the table. They're over here in the kitchen. June and the girls are in the living room. Josh says that Colorado is a different ball game because Justin's like, so how did it go? And Josh is like, you know what? Colorado is a different ball game. Like over there, you have to have credit, like you to get a place to live. And the rent over there is double over here. We may have went in a little bit unprepared and not really understanding what we were up against because it was kind of difficult. We didn't find her a place. She has no credit. They turned her down because she doesn't have any credit. And he even said, he says, they don't care about Honey Boo Boo up there. It got her nowhere. You can't always pull the Honey Boo Boo card, which tells me there that they do get, they do pull the Honey Boo Boo card sometimes. But hey, do it if you can. All right, back over to the ladies in the living room. June tells Alana, she's like, oh, and something else, Draylen's background could also hinder y'all from getting a place. June then asks Alana, she's like, so what are you going to do if you and Draylen break up? Like, what if you get over there and y'all break up? Are you going to come home? Are you going to leave? Are you going to quit school? I will say this question seemed to bother Josh. Like, it panned back to Josh in the kitchen, and he's like mad that June is bringing that question up, which, to be quite honest, I don't know why. That I do think, while I disagree with June on a lot of things, I do think that's a valid question. Alana didn't even want to go without Draylen, and she stated that very clearly. She's like, I mean, I don't know if I want to go without you. Like, I want you to come with me. So if they are going to invest all this time and effort and money into getting her set up over there, I think that's a valid question to ask. Like, okay, so what happens if Draylen is forced to come back here, or if y'all break up? What's going to happen there? That question seemed to bother Josh. He looks over at Draylen and asks, you hear this ish, bro? Alana then says to her mom, she's like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, I'm still going to finish school, be a neonatal nurse. She's like, so I'm still going to do what I need to do. June tells Alana, these are things that you do need to consider, though. June then turns to Draylen and asks him, Draylen, what's going to be your profession? And I agreed with that question as well. Like, I really did. Like, are you going to help? Like, at least help with the bills. If you're living in the house together, like, are you going to go in this, looking for a job as well? He says he's been looking into diesel mechanics and that he does plan to get a job once out there. Alana asks June if she doesn't believe in her. She's like, do you think I'm not going to be able to commit to school, complete school, and become a nurse? June stuttered a lot when Alana asked it. She's like, what? You don't think I can do it? You don't think I can complete school and be a nurse? And June's like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you won't. It then flips to Alana in a confessional, and she says, you know what? You would think as my mother, she would be excited for me. Oh, my daughter's going to college. She got a scholarship. She's going to be a nurse. You would think she would be happy for me, that I'm doing better than everybody else in her family, that I'm doing better than she did. But no, she isn't excited for me. She's always so negative. And June, you're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to live with your daughter who really, like, that's a good thing. She's going to college. She got a scholarship. You should be happy. Your daughter knew that you wasn't happy for her. That's on you. We then flip back to the conversation. Pumpkin asked June, she's like, so do you have the information for the Coogan account or not? And June's like, yep, got it right here. As a matter of fact, I do. And I think I have this one. All right, let's see.
We asked you over in Colorado. Did you call the bank?
Yes, I did. I've got the statement for the Coogan account right here. That's the Masked Singer and part of the Dance with the Stars money.
$33,000. What happened to the
Ashley and Chad says, my mom did this to me. I was 6. My dad was killed. I'm so sorry. He left me $200,000. When I turned 21, I only had like $25K. I drank that away because I was so torn. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Ashley. I'm so sorry about that. Congratulations on getting clean and sober. That's awesome. That's tough, man. That's a lot.
What happened to the other Dancing with the Stars money? Because this ain't all of it, G.
Okay, So June thought she was going in there like, ha ha ha, I got y'all. And they were like, not at all. No, you don't. It should be more money in here. What in the heck? See where we're at.
When I was accepted to SU,
There is some money that was spent.
Okay. We're a little ahead right here. So let's bring it back just a little bit. Okay. We're about right here. In a confessional, it flips to a confessional where Alana says, she's like, there should be 6 figures in that account for sure. Something's not adding up. She says, my money is somewhere and it needs to be found ASAP. Pumpkin then tells June that will only pay for like the first year of Alana's college. She's like, this is only going to pay for the first year. So we can go ahead and set that to the side. But June, where's the rest of the money? June says that she can't help it because there isn't any more money because taxes were taken out automatically, 50%. And I'm like, what? 50%? Yeah, I call BS on that, and so did Pumpkin. Pumpkin's like, no, they did not take no 50% of the taxes, like the 50%. I'm not believing that. June then says there was more money that was spent every time Alana needed something like clothes, lashes, nails. June literally tells Alana that, truth be told, Alana's been taking care of her own self, paying her own bills since she was 12. June then has the audacity to say, hey, you've been doing a good job at it. And I'm like, yeah, because you daggum sure didn't do anything. She literally is like, I'm like mind blown. Megan says, I work in a tax office. Definitely not 50%. Yeah, like what? Like you're getting screwed royally if you're paying 50% in taxes. And 2, so that makes me wonder. Okay, if Alana's money, if they held taxes out, then when taxes were filed later on, shouldn't she have gotten a refund at least of some sort? Right? Maybe. I don't know. But I would think. Let me see where I'm at because I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so her saying like, oh, anytime you need anything. She did the same thing to Anna. She did the same thing to Anna. Whenever Anna sued her, she's like, well, whenever you moved in with us and the show started, anytime you wanted clothes, I paid your cell phone bill out of it. I'm like, did they know that though? That's the issue there is the girls did not know that when you got them their cell phone, that meant their money paid the bill. You know what I'm saying? They thought you were paying the bill because a lot of times when parents get their kids a cell phone, if they can't pay the bill or if it's going to come out of some of their money, child support, whatever, parents will have the wherewithal to say, hey, love, stimulus money too. Exactly, J. Marie. They'll say, hey, love, listen, we're getting you the phone. The bill's going to be X, Y, and Z. So it's going to come out of your account, right? She didn't even say that. And here's the thing, it's not like Mama June, whenever they started the Here Comes Honey Boo Boo show and they kind of started, getting paid for it, she had the money to pay her kid's cell phone bill. She did. She could have absolutely paid their bill. But my thing is like, if you're going to use their money for something, that should have been told. They should have been well aware that you were using their money for X, Y, and Z. Bear with me, guys. I have so many tabs up here that things keep getting moved around. Okay. I can't believe she's like, oh, well, you've really been taking care of yourself since you were 12 anyways. Alana comes through with the most common sense, saying, in my perspective, I didn't spend that money. You spent my money on what you wanted to spend it on because I didn't have no say on where the hell that money went. And I'm like, no, she didn't. At 12 years old, She don't know what's coming in, what's going out. She don't know because you're over everything, June. You get to sign their contracts for them. Are you even showing them the contract so they do know how much they were supposed to be making? I would literally give this arm to read their contracts. I would give this arm and this leg too. Like I would literally, oh my goodness, I probably shouldn't say that because there's people without arms and legs and yeah. But I would literally, you guys, I would love to read the contracts to see how much TLC was paying each child. Down to Caitlin. In a confessional, Pumpkin asked the question we all asked while watching this. What kind of parent makes their own kid pay for their own living expenses? Yeah, what kind of parent makes their 12-year-old child pay for their living expenses? They don't. They don't. And one thing that we got to remember is, yes, in the beginning of the Honey Boo Boo days, they were not this rich family. They, she couponed. Yes, Alana did the pageants, and they did spend a decent amount of money, like on dresses and the makeup and stuff like that. But Sugar Bear worked and June couponed, so they could be able to afford to do that. Now, a couple seasons in, they're making money that they have never made before, and it still ain't like huge money, but it's more than they were used to. So at that point, when you're making more than you have ever made in the past, and some of that is for your children, you can put their money away and still live a better life just as you being, the breadwinner or whatever with your income. Alana asked, why was her money even being touched? That 100% of the Dancing with the Stars money should have went into her Coogan account.
$33,000. It's gonna be gone quick.
That's a hell of a lot more than most 18-year-olds start off with their life with.
Yeah, Mama, but I've been on TV since I was 6, and now I barely have what to show for it, Mama.
I love how June thought she got somewhere like, that's more money than most 18-year-olds start their life out. You should be happy. You should be thankful that you're going to have $33,000 to start your adult life out with. No. She's worked for 14 years or maybe more. No, yeah, 14 years. She's worked for either 12 to 14 years. That's, like I said earlier, that's less than $3,000 a year that she's made all the years that she's worked. So for her to be like, oh, well, you should be happy. That's more than most people start out with. Most 18-year-olds start out with nothing. Most 18-year-olds didn't start working when they were 6 years old either. And the ones that did start working when they were young, this did not happen to, hopefully. Because if it did, it's wrong. It's wrong. All right. In a confessional, Alana said that June was really ticking her off. All those years she worked thinking that she would have what she needed when she was ready to go to college. And I heard Alana on her live stream say this as well on her TikTok. She said, of course, when she was 6 working, she didn't think about the money being put up for college. But as she got older and she started deciding that she did want to go to college, she did think that. She did think, well, the money that I'm making through certain jobs or whatever, it's going into an account. So hopefully by the time I get 18 and I graduate school, when I go to college, I won't have to work. And she's right. She shouldn't have. Alana should not have to work. And I even my husband said it when I was talking to my husband. He said, well, why don't she just get a job? And I'm like, well, technically she shouldn't have to. She's had a job for how many years? She's had a job for 12, 14 years. So she didn't get a dime of it. But so technically she shouldn't have to. So I do, and I don't think a lot of people's thinking about that. Like, well, just get a job like the rest of us do. Like, well, yes, she could. But it's just very unfair that she worked all these years thinking that when it was time for her to go to college, she would just be able to knuckle down, go to college, and not have to worry about money because of all the years she did work, that there will be money there for her. She says she's going to get the truth out of June one way or another and find out where her money went. Back in Pumpkin's living room, Alana tells June that as a mother, she should have been looking out for Alana's future and making sure that she set her money to the side. And for her to not put her money up and then refuse, she's like, listen, as my mama, you should have been putting my money up to protect me and to be looking out for my future. That's what most mothers do. Most mothers, they are thinking about their children's future. And not only did you not think about my future and put my money up for me, but then you even refused to pay for even one semester of college for me, which is insane because you spent all my money. And I'm like, yes, it is absolutely insane that you refuse to pay for any portion of her college when you are the one that spent her money. How freaking dare you? It's only right that you pay for her college, at least some of it, since you are the one that spent her money. All right, we're going to watch another clip really quickly.
You gonna pay me back, or am I gonna get that? Will I ever see that money, or it's just like, oh, it's like abracadabra, it's gone?
It's gone, Alana. It's not like,
It's
oh,
gone,
I have a loan.
so I'm never gonna ever see my money, basically.
That is wild. We get it. The money is gone. What she's asking is, since the money is gone, how about you pay it back? We get it. It's gone. But you make money, June. You make money. You make a disability check every month, and then you make money from the show. You make money from TikTok. You make money from Cameo. You make money from little brand deals that you have. You are making money, June Shannon. You have the ability to pay her back. And for the fact that you're like, no, it's gone. I can't do nothing. No, you can do something. You should set up a payment plan with Alana Thompson to pay her $2,000-$3,000 a month or whatever, even if it's only $800, because that's what you were paying child support. You should be paying that her back. And for you to be like, no, what? What is wrong with you, woman? What? I can't. All right, so back over here. All right, let's see. Losing my place. Pumpkin says that June has always talked about protecting them financially. She's like, all that time you talked about protecting us financially, when in reality, you were the one stealing from us. Alana says, okay, say you needed to spend the money on me. All right, where's the other money? How about the Honey Boo Boo money? The show with my name on it. Like, well, what about that? Alana says she invested her whole life into herself since she was 6. June responds by saying, and I understand that. And I'm like, wait. Stop the tape. Alana says, Mama, I've invested my whole life into myself since I was 6. June says, I understand that. 2 episodes ago, you said you would not invest in Alana because she was not investing in herself. Now you're acknowledging that she's been investing in herself since she was 6. June just comes up with whatever excuse she can have to throw at the wall and hope that it'll stick for why she don't have the money, why she can't pay it back, why she don't want her to go to college. You literally acknowledge that Alana has been investing in herself when you claim she hasn't, and that's why you won't. I can't. Alana says she knows June did not spend all the Honey Boo Boo money on her. She's like, I know you didn't spend all that money on me. I was 8. What could I want as an 8-year-old? Like, really? June then says, well, the last of the Honey Boo Boo money was spent to buy the house. Alana says, well, you know what, Mama? When you bought that house, it wasn't none of our understanding that you were using our money. We thought you were using your money to buy the house. June says she spent $150,000 of the last of the bit of the Honey Boo Boo money to buy the house. Alana then says, well, then why didn't you give us our money back when you sold the house? I'm like, she literally is like, well, the last of the money, my money, your money, her money, your money, your money, your money, that went to buy our house. June, you sold that house too, and you didn't give them back their money. So Really? All right. Pumpkin kind of laughs and says, June got that money too from the house. Alana asks for clarification. So you were spending our money, but saying it was yours. Alana tells June that she should have made her and her sisters a savings account and put their money into a savings account. And June says, I didn't even know about a Coogan account until Alana was on Dancing with the Stars in California. And Pumpkin says, don't act like a dummy. You may not have knew about a Coogan account, but you knew about a savings account. Alana says it doesn't matter if it was a Coogan account or a savings account, as long as she put their money up. She said, but instead you spent it. You made us believe that you did things for us with your money, but in actuality, no, you wasn't even doing those things for us with your money. You were making us pay for our own stuff. June says, no. And June thinks, y'all, the girls are literally pointing out how growing up, they thought June did splurge on them a little bit. They thought that the nice clothes and the hair and the nails and the lashes and the trips, that was their mother taking her money to spoil her kids a little bit. That's what they thought growing up. But, as a child growing up, if your mama or your parents make decent amount of money and they're taking you on trips and, you're having the finer things in life, that makes you feel, my mama treats me well. My mama spoils me a little bit. Now they're finding out that she did not do that for them. Their money spoiled them, not hers. So they're trying to point that out. They're like, all this time we thought you was kind of spoiling us a little bit with your money, but in reality, it was our money. And then June says, no, Jesse's $6,500 a month or every semester. Jesse's $6,500 a month. Oh my goodness, why can't I say this? Jesse's $6,500 every semester was her money. Pumpkin's car that we bought, that was her money. And I'm like, I know, June, that's the point. Did you think you just ate with that? Because you didn't. You just further proved that the things they thought you did for them with your money, you were actually using their money. And the whole time, they did not know. I'm like, you really thought you just does. They're like, we thought you did nice things for us with your money. She's like, no, Jesse's college, she paid for it. Pumpkin's car, she paid for it. And I'm like, Alana tells June that they all believe June helped Jesse in college. They did not know that June made Jesse pay for herself. Jessica even looked a little sad hearing that. Whenever it came out, Jessica's like, what? Let's see where we're at. Never mind. June tells the girls that up until Dancing with the Stars, everything went directly to her, which she's acting like because everything went to her, that it was hers. She's like, no, nothing came in y'all's name. So nothing came in y'all's name. So it's not y'all's, right? And they're like, yeah, it was in your name, but you were getting money for all of us. You were supposed to split it with all of us. Josh, Draylon, and Justin, they're like, we're done. They get up and they go outside. Once they get outside, Josh explains to Justin that the best thing for him to do is just to probably try to stay out of it. That this is just between June and her daughters. It's their business. If he wants to kind of just stay out of it, best thing for him. Back in the house, June says, y'all act like I'm rolling in the dough. And Alana says, you ain't broke. June deflects by saying, none of us in this room are broke. That don't matter. Guess what? At this point, it doesn't matter if anybody else in the room is broke. You took money that came in for years for those girls and you spent it. It doesn't matter if they're rich, if they were rich at this point. You still stole their money and it is still wrong. So yeah, she deflects saying, ain't nobody in this room broke. And then Cheyenne goes, I am. And they kind of have a little bit of a tickle, June says, you're making it out like we're stealing your money, but we are not. And Alana says, no, it's not a y'all thing because Justin wasn't around during all of this. And Pumpkin says, Justin should know the truth, that you stole all your kids' money. And June says, oh, Justin knows the truth. They're like, oh, he does? Justin knows the truth? Then let's go get him. And she's like, go get him. Bring him inside. Guarantee you. I'm going to tell you that right now. He knows the truth. So Pumpkin gets up, goes to the door, and calls for Justin to come inside. When Justin gets inside, June is saying something that I find kind of interesting and weird. It was just a little weird. It didn't really make sense to me. Well, I'll play it really quickly.
Justin, we need to clarify something with you.
Y'all don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about it on camera. No. They don't want to talk about it on camera.
Here's the big ordeal, okay? Here's the big.
Okay, so when they were coming inside, I thought it was really weird because June's like, they don't want to talk about it on camera. And Alana's not, no, we're going to talk about it on camera. And June's like, no, they don't want to talk about it on camera. And kind of pointing to Cheyenne and Jessica. And Jessica's doing June like this, like, shut up, June, shut up. Like, just be quiet. Alana is in the room with them. So once Pumpkin and the cameras walk out, if Jessica or Cheyenne was like, we shouldn't be talking about this on camera, June definitely used that as an excuse, like, well, we should probably shut it down because they don't want to talk about it on camera. But Alana's like, no, we're going to talk about this. I just thought it was really interesting because June knows how this show works. June knows they need drama. They need craziness to be filmed. They can't just be sitting around kumbaya and it's going to make for great television. You know what I'm saying? So I find it ironic that she wanted to shut something down that is going to be profitable for them, for this show. But it's because it's painting her out to not be a good person. She's like, no, they don't want to talk about it. Well, they don't have to talk about it. They don't have to talk about it. Somebody brought up a great point. Wait now, remember when Jesse's car was repossessed? So if Jesse paid for her own car, she should have sued June. That's a really great comment because I will tell you, I've heard before that was a storyline, that June really didn't pawn the title to Jesse's car. That story never made a lot of sense to me because I worked at a finance company for many years and we would use vehicles as collateral. And when you got a loan and you used the vehicle for collateral, you had to bring you had to physically bring the car. It had to be inspected. It had to make sure I cannot think straight today. When you make sure something is worth the money that you're getting for it. I cannot think of what that word is right now. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for your support. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. It's not audit. It starts with an A though. You guys, what's the word? I don't know if it's the sickness that's really still clouding my head to be able to think of certain words, but whenever you're buying a house and appraisal, thank you. You have to bring the car in to be appraised to make sure the value meets, minimum what you're getting or whatever. So that story always kind of was like a red flag to me because I'm like, how did June put to me? She's like, oh, pawn the title. Well, you can't just pawn a title. I think you could use the car for collateral, and then if you don't pay the loan back, they could repossess the car, which is what I thought. I was like, I guess that's what she did, but she would have had to bring the car there to do it. So I heard the story was for a script for the show. If it's not a script for the show, that just even paints a dirtier picture of June. To use Jesse's money to buy her car, then use the car on a loan that she didn't pay for, and the car get repossessed. Wowzers. That would be crazy, right? That would be legit crazy. All right, let's get back to the recap really quickly. All right, so I thought that was interesting. She's like, they don't want to talk about it. Who cares if they don't want to talk about it? It's not necessarily that much about them.
Big thing, okay?
All right, so then they continue to go into talking about the situation.
The issue here is the Coogan account. What we're seeing here is $33,000. 100% of it should have been in there.
It's gone. It went to the house that we bought.
You said the Honey Boo Boo money.
Yes, the Honey Boo money and the rest of the Dancing Stars. It's gone. There is no money.
Nobody knew you spent the Dancing with the Stars money. We were under the impression 100% of that went in there.
No.
I can tell you now, I was under that impression that 100%. That's all I want you to do is just be. Honest,
No,
bro.
and y'all knew that.
I did not know the Dancing with the Stars money got spent. That was before my
Dancing
time.
with the Stars money here.
That's not all of it.
Okay, but you said that percentage of Dancing with the Stars, percentage of the nothing.
God. Yeah, and the rest of it you spent. So just say that.
Look at Justin.
Exactly. Just say it. That's all they're asking. They're just asking for you to admit it. Yes, I blew through everybody's money. I'm going to pay for some of it. Here's the thing. If June would have just said, yes, I blew through all the money. I should have put more money in her Coogan account. And because I didn't, and it was because of my addiction, I'm going to pay for Alana's college. I blew through hundreds of thousands of dollars of Alana's money. So for that reason, I'm going to pay for her college. I'll figure it out. I'll do it however I can. And it is what it is. But instead, she's like, no, I didn't take nothing. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. And her saying, and now she's changing the story, bringing up.
Here is the Coogan account. What we're seeing here is 33,000. 100% of it should have been in there.
It's gone. It went to the house that we bought.
Okay. Now she's saying the money that should have been in their Dancing with this. Exactly. Okay. So I wanted to highlight this. Okay. So June lies saying some of the Dancing with the Stars money also went to buy the house. That is not possible because June bought the house in 2014 for $156,000. Alana did not do Dancing with the Stars until 2018. So there's no way any Dancing with the Stars money went to buy the house. In a confessional, Justin says that June has, that he is confused and hurt. He's like, I'm confused. I'm hurt. I don't know what to think. Pumpkin is saying there's money missing. June is saying there isn't. He said, me and June agreed that we would be honest with each other. And she's brought me here and she wasn't honest with me. Like now she's kind of put me in a bad position because I don't know what's going on. Pumpkin tells June that she acts like they are just supposed to forget all about the money and just walk away. June responds by saying, I'm effing tired of people trying to make it look like I stole money from a Coogan account when you can't even touch the money in the Coogan account. Pumpkin leans in kind of close to June and says, you touched the money before it even got put in the account, June, which is exactly what happened. She got the money from the network. A certain amount went to taxes. June kept 80%. To be quite honest, 15% went into the Coogan account because from my understanding, 5% was paid to taxes, 15% was put in the Coogan account, and June took 80%. Pumpkin tells June that she put the bottom line percentage required into the account, and then Pumpkin says, you a dirty dog for that. And I'm like, yes, she is. Justin is frustrated, so he goes back outside. Pumpkin tells June that years ago, she was bragging about setting up the Coogan account, claiming she was protecting her, but she really didn't protect her at all. Instead, she was the one that took the money. And then Pumpkin says, and to be quite honest, Alana's the reason you're famous anyways. True story. I mean, I guess it's kind of, they're famous for each other, but still, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I don't know how the I'm going to pay for college. Honestly, Mama, I don't. It's like, Mama, you don't really give a you took our money. That's the real problem here. Like, that's the problem.
Okay, so Dancing with the Stars was when Mama still had Alana because Mama June, Alana, and Gino flew to LA. They stayed in a really swanky apartment. I remember they actually filmed it. Like it was one of those really nice buildings. It was super nice. And this was during when June was trying to get Gino to propose to her. So he like promised her that like eventually he would propose to her. But this was all filmed. So she still had Alana. It was in the midst of her drug addiction. Anybody watching could tell that June and Gino were not doing good at the moment. But yeah, so she still had Alana during that time. Now, the Masked Singer Alana was living with Pumpkin. However, if you guys do remember, Mama June was contacted about the Masked Singer and agreed to it and then told Pumpkin later. So I don't know, if Pumpkin stepped in to work out the legalities of the contract or what. But I will say that Pumpkin did later on say that she actually does have some of the Masked Singer money, but it was Mama June and Alana went in on the Masked Singer together. So they received a lump sum to be split. And Pumpkin did say that she has Alana's portion, and she put Alana's portion of the Masked Singer into a Coogan account as well. And they discussed getting it out. I think she said it was $160,000 that was in there, and they discussed getting it out to pay for Alana's college. But Alana really wants to keep that money in there to help buy her a house. So that's that. No, Pumpkin gave them permission to take. Pumpkin gave Mama June permission to take Alana to do the Masked Singer, not that. But I can see how it's easy to get confused. If you go back and you watch the older episodes, you'll see that during that time, Dancing with the Stars, she was definitely still with Gino and June. It was during the Masked Singer that she was living with Pumpkin that Mama June accepted the offer for them to be on it. And she's like, I'm going to trust you to do it, but you better not mess up. And that's why she made Mama June share her location. She was like, share your location with me so I can make sure. And then Pumpkin and Alana would talk while Alana and June were out there. And Alana was like, I thought me and Mama would come out here, have fun doing the Masked Singer, go sightseeing, go out and eat at, nice restaurants, but we've done nothing. Mama has stayed on the phone the whole time with some guy. And then whenever they came back, as soon as Mama June got to the airport in Georgia, she sent Honey Boo Boo off in an Uber by herself, and she left to go back to Alabama to be with that guy. Y'all remember that?
Problem here. Like, that's the problem.
But y'all are still harping. It's gone. I used it in my drug addiction. Woo!
Oh my God, bro.
All right. So that right there, that's
You can't be honest.
I've been honest about
This
that.
Sorry, hold on.
You're on. That's the issue here, Mama.
I've been honest, dumbass.
Just the fact that you're just sitting here and you're okay with the fact that you took the money from her.
Which one was that? Hold on, guys. So I can't, for her to call them a dumb, like, no, you're the one in the wrong right now, June. You are the one in the wrong. Just like, accept it. You are the one in the wrong. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so yeah, Alana breaks down crying, says she don't know how she's going to pay for college. It seems like June really doesn't care. And she says that. She's like, it really seems like you just don't give a crap. June says, yes, she made bad decisions, but they don't want to let it go. They just found out about this. Like, when somebody just finds out about another thing that you did, you're going to have to face that. And Pumpkin reminds her of that. She's like, you know what, June? When you make bad decisions, sometimes they come back to bite you in your butt. And that's what's happening right now. It's coming back to bite you in the butt. So you got to put your big girl panties on and deal with it. June then tries to say that she didn't steal any money from Alana because she used it to pay for them to live. Pumpkin reminds her that mothers are supposed to pay to raise their kids. They don't make their children pay the bills. And I'm like, is that not like computing with you? Like, are you not, is it in one ear, out the other one? Is it even going into your ear? How are you not understanding that? Alana then, like, frustrated, she's like, no, I'm getting up and I'm going out there and I'm going to get Justin. Like, we're going to bring Justin in here to see how much he knows. Now, look at this. Look at the commercial, even though I've watched them 11 times. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is sad. Like, this is very sad for somebody to work this much and to find out, like, anyways. Alana's like done. She gets up, she goes outside to ask Justin if he knows that her mom stole all her money.
The issue here is the Coogan account
I guess I already played this. Sorry, guys. Hold on. We'll watch it again, though.
What we're seeing here is 33,000. 100% of it should have been in there. It's gone. It went to the house that we bought. You said the Honey Boo Boo money. Yes, the Honey Boo money and the rest of the Dancing Stars. It's gone. There is no money. Nobody knew you spent the Dancing with the Stars money. We were under the impression 100% of that went in there.
No.
I can tell you now, I was under that impression that 100%.
That's all I want you to do is just be honest.
No.
Though.
And y'all knew that.
I did not know the Dancing with the Stars money got spent. That was before my time.
Dancing with the Stars money here.
That's not all of it.
Okay, but you said that.
Percentage of Dancing with the Stars. Percentage of the last thing. Here.
Yeah, and the rest of it you spent. So just say that.
Look at Justin.
So Justin does, like I said earlier, he goes back outside. But as they continue to argue, like I said, June says that he knew. She's like, he knew. He knows what's going on because they're like, you need to tell Justin that you stole your money. She's like, he knew. He knows what's going on. So then Alana gets up to bring him back inside to see if he knew.
Justin, do you know my mama stole money from me? Do you know that? Do you honestly know that, Justin?
It was not money stolen from you.
Honestly, no. Shut up, mama. Leave her in the damn house.
What do you mean, though? You took it from her.
Okay, but the point of the matter is...
That's stolen.
Do you honestly know that my mama had stolen money from me? I never touched, never seen it.
No,
you did not know that. No. You did not. So now she's lying again.
Why
Yes, she's lying again.
would I know?
Yeah, why would he know? Because she's not going to be honest with him either. And like, we don't get to pick our parents, but I will say I can't imagine finding out my mom stole. She already knew she stole the Honey Boo Boo money, but she's been told for years that all of her Dancing with the Stars money was in an account. They said it several times throughout this episode. You told us 100%. You told us 100%. You told us 100%. We thought 100%. We thought 100%. So, I mean, we really can't expect her, Alana, to find out that it's only 15% and then not say anything because that's her mom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's going to be upset. And I guess in time she can move on, but she's going to be upset. That is expected. She should be able to be upset. I would be upset, So he's like, yeah, I knew nothing about it. Why would I know anything about it? So then they go inside to confront June.
I mean, it's not money stolen, Alana. I never stole money.
You didn't put it in there.
So it's technically like you stole it. Like you used it for your good.
She's sitting here like she doesn't give a
Everybody's good. Everybody benefits. Trips, everything, housing, stuff like that.
To pay for the family trip, Mama.
You shouldn't. And the fact that your mama made you pay for a family trip, that she took your money to pay for a family trip, that y'all didn't have to go on. Y'all didn't. No. June, you're wrong for this one.
I'm sorry. That's my money. I work for it day in and day out.
Exactly. She worked for that money. She should have say over where that money goes. Even at 8 years old, if you wanted to spend her money on something, she should have been told. You should have kept a record of it. You should have kept a record of this is what went in, this is what went out, and this is what I used it on. The fact that you just used it however you wanted to use it is disgusting. And now she don't even have money to pay for college. That's on you, June Shannon. That is on you.
To sit here and lie and tell us in our face that Justin knew what the hell was going on. And he did it.
You knew about everything. You knew that she took the money.
But you act like I stole I never touched the Coogan account. 20% was put in for Dancing.
They're not acting like you stole money out of the Coogan account. They're saying you stole the money before it went into the Coogan account. That's the thing. I don't know if June is just trying to if she really doesn't understand, or if that's the only thing she can think to say to make her seem like not a crappy parent, is to be like, I never stole any money out of the Coogan account. No, I'm innocent. I never stole. You never put it all in there. And you told him you did.
And I said, I never touched that. No, 80% was left. It's gone.
You're still lying about it.
80% took care of whatever we needed.
You didn't tell me that.
Yes, I
You
did.
told me the 80% was in there.
I put 80% in the Coogan account and 20% she had access to. There's no money missing out of that account because the money that I told her to put.
Money missing. There's 80% of it.
You didn't physically take the money out,
No.
but you physically didn't put the money in.
You thought that you was gonna.
I'm like, can we get Cheyenne mic'd up? Look at Cheyenne. She said something here, but look.
The money in.
You thought that you was gonna put.
She says, "Oh my gosh!" Like, June, are you really just not getting it? Oh my gosh!
20% in that account, and you was gonna basically take 80%. I was never gonna notice.
I took the responsibility and put the amount that I had in.
If Alana was mine, I would at least
half in
put
there.
80%.
In a mother's right state of mind, you should have been like, okay, when I get this money in my account, you know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna take it right out of my account and go put it somewhere else so she can have it when she gets older.
Yep, that's what most mothers would have done. You know, especially when you're making the type of money that they were making. Alana Thompson was not the only one making money. June Shannon, let me tell you guys something. I heard that. So during the days of Honey Boo Boo, Alana was making like a decent amount of money towards the end. The show was in her name. So it was kind of like she was like the star of the show because it was in her name, right? Well, then when Mama June got her own show, whoever's like the namesake of the show, if it's a particular person on the show, they're considered the star of the show. So they tend to make the most money out of everybody. So when Mama June came on WeTV, she was the one making the largest sum of money. That Pumpkin was making money, Alana was making money, Dodo and Amber, they make money whenever they appear. It's not a lot. But June was making a hefty amount of money. And Alana and Pumpkin were making a decent amount of money. But unfortunately, it wasn't going to them. And that's something that Pumpkin has to consider too. And Pumpkin said that. Pumpkin said she did not start making money from the show until she turned 18 and could sign her own contract. She was making money from the show. She just wasn't getting the money from the show. So June Shannon, by all accounts, she took money from every one of her kids, including Caitlin, according to Anna. And I think I'm going to do a video just on that. The court case is next month. Okay, let's wrap it up real quick. All right. I know we're going to see a commercial. Told y'all. All right. So after video 12, June says that she was in the middle of her drug addiction and she spent it all on her addiction and that she already told them that they knew she spent the money. Alana, Justin, and June were like, no, you have never admitted that you blew the money on drugs until just now. This is the first time that you said that. She's like, nuh-uh, y'all knew that. I've already told y'all that. And they're like, no, you didn't. Pumpkin then asked June, what did she think was going to happen? She's like, what did you think? Alana was going to see $33,000 and be like, oh, okay. And June says, well, yes, because that's been in there. And I've never lied about that. June then says, it's gone. I can't change things. Pumpkin asked why she wouldn't put 100% of Alana's money in her account. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that really gets me. If Alana was on a Nickelodeon show, a Disney show, and June was not, but she was her manager. So Alana was the only one bringing in a decent sized paycheck. So June really needed to take some of the money for them really to live somewhat of a lifestyle. I could somewhat see that. Like you have a Disney star child and you're driving a beater and living in a rundown shack. No, your child is a star making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. You're going to live nicely, right? Okay, I'm sure the child wants to live nicely. But that was not the case with June. June had her own large sum of money coming into the house. She only needed to use her money, not theirs. Her money was plenty for them to live a nice lifestyle. But no, instead she had to use theirs. June responds saying, well, y'all knew I was bad in my addiction at the time. She literally starts yelling at Alana saying, how bad was I my addiction? How bad was I my addiction? How bad was I how bad was I my addiction? How bad? How bad? And I'm like, who cares how bad you were in your addiction? It doesn't make it okay. I mean, you can get a little grace, like, okay, you were in your addiction, we understand, but take accountability and say you're gonna pay it back. Alana said, even in your addiction, mama, I thought you would be smart enough to put my money away in my account, but you didn't. You took it. In a confessional, Alana says she expects the money to be paid back. It's on the forefront of her mind. Alana says because June did steal her money, there shouldn't have even been a second thought about her paying for her college. But that all she wanted was just a little help from June. June then says, I don't have buku money. And now you guys expect me to pay for college along with my rent, life, water, cars, da 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 da. And Pumpkin interrupts her and yells, who cares? Pay for it. And I'm like, exactly. Who cares? We all have life expenses. And guess who else is about to have a lot of life expenses? Alana in college in Colorado, where to pay rent is $2,000 a month. She's about to have to figure out how to pay all that after working all her little short life and doesn't really have the money to pay for it because you took it. So you're the 50-year-old woman. You can figure it out. Pumpkin finally says, you know what? It's been a long day. Everyone is tired. So we all just need to call it a day. She's like, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to relax. Bye, everybody. After June and Justin leave, June pops in a confessional calling her daughters liars. I'm like, you just can't, can you? You just cannot take accountability. I would be done, honestly. Like, watching this episode and then watching June's TikTok where she threw them under the bus to deflect from what she did wrong. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm giving you chance after chance after chance. I'm done. Here, she says they knew full well what happened with that money because we would go on vacations 3 or 4 weeks at a time. You think an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 15-year-old, they're going to think, well, we're on another vacation again. I must have paid for it. No, they're going to think we're on a TV show where the president talks about our family, where we're walking down the street and somebody like Miley Cyrus is rolling their window down to yell at us because she's like, oh my God, it's Honey Boo Boo. They're going to think they're bringing in plenty of money, that they can afford the trip, and that they're not having to pay for it. Or guess what? They're probably not going to think anything at all because they're children, and children really don't think about finances, especially at 8 years old. For June to literally be like, oh, they knew because we were taking vacations. What? Really? I can't. Back in the car, June says, she's like, I told them 2 years ago. What was in the Coogan account. She also tried to lie to Justin by saying she told him. She's like, I told him 2 years ago. Then she tells Justin, and I told you 2 days ago that I spent the 80%, that it was only 15% in there or 20% or whatever she said. I think she's saying 15. I think she's saying 20%, but I think it's really 15%. So she's like, they knew. I told them 2 years ago where the money went. And I told you as well. I told you 2 days ago that I only put 20% in the account. Justin tells her that's BS. He's like, nope, that's BS. He's like, you did not tell me that. You told me that you put 80% in there. He then tells her the BS has to stop, that her actions are causing problems, not just for her, but for him as well, and that he is done with it. She's like over there like, okay. He's like, yeah, well, okay, huh? He's like, you know what, June, you're an effing liar. And I'm like, yes, she is. And then the show ends. Now, a lot of people have been like, why don't they sue? I really don't think they can because Georgia does not have a Coogan law. It doesn't. California does. And legally, which this is so wrong, legally in California, any work that is done in California, you are only required to put 15% in the account. 15%. I think you should have to put like 50%, to be quite honest. I think minimum should be 50%. I think, taxes is going to be a percentage. I think 50% should, and I think every state should have cooking laws. But the reason why most states don't have cooking laws is because most states don't have child actors. You know what I'm saying? So California is obviously notable for that profession for children. So, they have that law to protect the kids. But I think every state should have the law just for instances like this. But yeah, they really can't do too much because Georgia doesn't have the cooking law, the law. So legally, I guess she didn't break the law in regards to the Honey Boo Boo money, or even the Dancing with the Stars money. But morally, she messed up. She messed up. And I will say, since filming this, because they filmed this like last June or July, I think they have made up after this. They made up after this. They went on vacations together. Anna passed away after this. They all came together during that. But I think seeing this play back and then seeing this June say that in the car, in the confessional, like they knew, I do think that's kind of fired them back up a little bit. And it would fire me back up too. Even if I had forgiven my mama about it and I had moved on, if I saw her make those comments on TV, I would be mad again. I'd be like, oh my God, are you serious? You're still lying? And I do know there's a lot of things for this show that it's scripted. They have them say this, do this, blah, 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 blah. But my sources tell me this is not a script. This is legit. They really thought Alana's Coogan account would have hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. And when June brought it over, they were not expecting that. And that was like legit. It really happened. And June really did try to shut it down. She really tried to shut down them filming that. Friday night, like I said, Mama June went on a live. I didn't catch that. Alana went on a live. I did catch it. And Alana literally said, because people started bringing up, well, she did the same thing to Anna. She did the same thing to Anna. Anna filed a lawsuit. You know what? You know what she said? She said, our mama told me and Pumpkin and Jesse that Anna lied about that. When Anna filed the lawsuit against Mama, saying that Mama stole her money, Mama told us that Anna was lying. Okay, I will answer any questions if anybody has any questions. And I hate to say this, but if you want to make sure I can see them, you can send a super chat because it highlights it. On my end, all comments come in gray, but if you send a super chat, it comes in orange, so it's easier for me to see. So if you have a question and you want me to answer it, you can ask. But if you keep asking and I'm not seeing it, and you want to send a super chat to make sure I can see it, that's always a way. But okay, so June told them Anna lied. So that's why they always defended June with that, and they didn't have a falling out with her really over that because June told them that Anna lied. Another thing, according to Anna, Caitlin made money from Here Comes Honey Boo Boo as well, her year and a half or so on the show. Where's that money? What else? Oh, so on Friday night's live, when Alana went on, she said, Mama did agree to pay for some of my college. She did. Alana's college tuition is $2,027 every month. Okay. She said, Mama did tell me she would help me, but she gave me stipulations. She told me she would give me X amount of dollars every month, but that it had to be put towards college. And I'm like, that's not your decision, June Shannon. You stole that girl's money. How is it that you can take her money and spend it on whatever the hell you want to spend it on? But when you're giving it back to her, you're going to try to dictate what she can spend it on. She didn't get to dictate what you spent her money on. Now you're going to try to dictate what she spends her own money on. And while, yes, granted, she, even if the money don't go to college, maybe it goes to rent. Maybe it goes to groceries. Whatever. It's her money. You can't tell her how to spend it. It's hers. The fact that you would say, well, I'm going to pay you your money back, but you have to spend it on college. No. Pay her the money. If she's already paid her tuition for that month, she could put insurance, whatever. Yeah. Hey, artist. How could June act like that was her money? Yes, she bought the others cars, paid for their college, and during the poor Alana was just left with measly 30. I know that's less than $3,000 a year for just say she worked 12 years and not 14, you know? I don't either, CD. I thought he was at first, and on the show, I think you get. Here's the thing: on the show, they are all portrayed a lot better than they really are, including June. On the show, I'm laughing with them. I like them, watching them on TikTok and seeing them and talking to people that know them. That's when I'm like, "Ee," you know. Also, I will say that when Alana went live Friday night, she said that June had not paid her. She said, Mama said she was gonna, start paying me some money. I just had to use it towards my college. She's trying to dictate how I use the money. She said, but she hasn't paid anything yet. Didn't June say the house was Alana's? Alana has a great loss. Yes, she did. She did. When she bought that house, she said it was going to be Alana's house. That way Alana never had to never not had a place. She did. She absolutely did. Thank you so much for the super chat, Cecilia. Thank you. So, she sold the house. So June bought the house for $156,000. It was a nice house too. She sold it for $100K, and it sold pretty quickly. The people that bought the house put about $30,000 in renovations in it because they did. June, like, there was a lot that needed to be done to it, and then they turn around and they flip the house. Yes, Amy. June paid for Jessica's college money with Jessica's own money. Yes, June paid for Jessica's college with Jessica's own money. So Friday night, though, she was saying, Mama said she would pay it back, but she said, I have to put it towards college, but she hasn't paid anything yet. So she also said that she had not paid March's payment. And March, and it's almost April. She's like, yeah, I'm behind on my payments. She was like, I haven't even paid March's college tuition yet, and April's almost here. So she was like, if you guys want, here's my cash app. So literally, I screen recorded this, you guys, but my phone storage was full, so it didn't save. In an hour, Alana Thompson got, and this is not including the gifts that she got on TikTok. When she started saying, like, I haven't paid, Mama's not paying me back. She said she would, but she hasn't. And I'm late on my college payments. She immediately started getting gifts on TikTok, like boom, 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 boom. And then she put her cash app up, and you could hear her phone going off, ding, 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 ding. And she hit her goal in an hour. In an hour, she hit her goal of $2,027. And then she went on, I think the next night, she hit the goal for April. When I saw her on last night, I think it was, she was like such amount of dollars away from like paying up the rest of the year. So yeah, she on her TikTok, people have been sending money to her Cash App to pay for her tuition for the rest of the year. But I'm like, June still owes you that money though. June still owes you that money. I did, and I knew that, Linda. I've talked about that on my show here. I've talked about on my channel here for months how Alana has not lived with Pumpkin since I was told 16. Somebody told me that June said 15 in her live the other night. Yeah, even if it was here's the thing, even if it was in June's name, she should have gave the girls a cut of that money for that. Yeah. So when it comes to the show, because the girls were underage, they were paid to be on the show. Oh, I would love to see the contract because I guarantee you the contract says like this amount of money will be paid for Alana. This amount of money will be paid for Pumpkin. This amount of money will be paid for Jessica. And then June signed up on that. And then Dodo and Amber, they have their own contracts. Yeah. I know. It's a really terrible situation. It is a really terrible situation. And I'm like, I could not imagine if my older kids, they do get paid now. They do get paid now. I think to break down what they get paid, Pumpkin gets paid about $10,000 a month when they're in season, when they're filming. And then I think Alana gets about the same. And June gets paid, I think it's $30,000 a month. And then so June gets paid $30,000 a month when they're filming. She gets disability that's like over $2,000. And then Pumpkin and Alana is about $10K a month when they're filming. Well, Elle, remember Pumpkin sitting in the lawyer's office going back and forth with June on child support? It was ridiculous. Yes. Yes. Pumpkin's kids get money as well. And Pumpkin said her kids have always had their own account. And I think she said it's an account kind of like a Coogan account where they can't touch it. I know. You have to bring it to a judge, though, for a judge to even be able to stop it, unfortunately. Yeah, they do get paid directly now because Alana is 18. So the moment Pumpkin turned 18, the next time they filmed, they had to go to her with her own contract and say, hey, you're 18 now, you're an adult, you have to sign your own contract. This is what you're going to get paid a month. Same thing with Alana. The second she turned 18, they had to have her sign her own contract and she got paid directly. Draylen makes money from being on the show, probably not a whole lot. He might get paid something like $1,000 to maybe $1,500 a month, an episode or something like that. You know what I'm saying? How about when June asked Pumpkin how much she was putting towards Alana's college? That sent fire through me. That sent fire through me. I think Gina's hands are not clean and skimming off the top either. See, I know, June said something like that. Like June fired Gina and made some claims that money went missing or something. And I'm like, well, you ain't got no right to be mad, I don't think, because you did it to everybody else. Yes. Taxpayers are giving her $2,000 a month. Yes. And let me tell you guys something. That was in one night. She made over $2,000 on, and that's only in Cash Apps. That's not counting the TikTok. I guarantee you she made a good $1,000 that night on TikTok. No, that's what I said too. Like, here's the thing. I hate that this happened to Alana. It is not fair. But like, there is no way. I have a daughter in college. There's no way I could. They still make more than me. They still make more than me. So I mean, I hate it, but I can't take away from my family with with my little pennies to give to somebody. Like, it sucks. If anybody should be giving her money, it is June Shannon. I mean, I saw some people saying like, "Oh, I'm on fixed income. When I get my check on the first, I'll send you a little something." And I'm like, "It's very nice of you, but you're on a fixed income, and she, like." She probably makes more money than you do a month. Her bills are just super expensive because she is going to college and she lives in a very expensive state. And, it's a bad situation. She was. So whenever this happened, whenever Pumpkin got custody of Alana, it still took them some time to get everything switched over to Pumpkin. They had to hire an attorney. It took them some time, okay? So, once that started happening, according to Pumpkin, she said that Alana's money would come in, it got put into a savings account. She said, I'm not gonna lie, there were times like Alana would need something that was kind of expensive, and I would say, hey, this is gonna have to come out of your money, okay? She said, so I always told her if something that I paid for her was coming out of her money. And she's like, that's a problem that we have with mama, is she was paying for her stuff and we didn't even know about it. So she did say that anytime Alana needed something that they really couldn't afford at the moment, she would say, listen, if you want that, it's got to come out of your money because, we can't do it. And So that was known. That was an agreement between them. But Pumpkin says Alana has $160,000 in the bank that she was over from the time she got Alana. So I think she got custody of Alana when Alana was, let me see how old Alana was. She was 16. Okay, so from 16 to 18, according to Pumpkin, if she's being honest, $160,000. That's in 2 years. 160 grand. Pumpkin was able to put up for Alana. 12 years, 33 grand. What? Didn't Pumpkin make fun of Michael for saying he was going to put Kylie's money in a trust fund? I would think that would be applauded given what they're, yes. Yes, she did. So whenever, yes, they are. So whenever Anna passed away and people were sending in money for the girls, they were sending it to Pumpkin. And it's like $1,000, I think, each. So Pumpkin was like, hey, I want to, give Kylie her money or whatever. And Michael was like, I'm going to put it in a trust fund. And she's like she didn't like that for some reason. She scoffed over the fact that he was going to put it in a trust fund. But I'm like, they're a hardworking family. Michael and his fiance work. And he has Kylie now. They want to get Caitlin. They don't have any children of their own, but if they do have children of their own, they are your blue collar, hardworking family. So if their children wants to go to college, they may, they may need to have money set aside for them. Got distracted by the chat. All right, does anybody have any other questions? We've been on for almost 2 hours. This is a long one. This one had me so fired up, you guys. And I still have so much to cover in regards to this, like the Caitlin money that Anna says she took. Pumpkin's response to people asking her, where's the money that you had, Oh, software recommendations. Okay, so CapCut is what I use. There's a free version that I used for the longest. Now, if you're just starting off, if you're brand new, yes, you can ask a question. But I think you came in last time and you asked if you could ask the question like 10 times, but I never seen your question. But I could have missed it. So I'll be trying to keep my eye out for it this time. So software recommendations. If you're brand new at editing, I would suggest iMovie. There's a video over on YouTube that's like how to use iMovie. And listen, I'm no editor. I'm not good with technology, but I used iMovie for the first, 2 years. And then my son introduced me to CapCut. iMovie is free. CapCut is a little bit more difficult to understand. You can find videos on how to use CapCut as well. Once you do understand it, it's easy to navigate. There's a free version with a lot of cool transitions, little things that you can use to make your videos cool and everything. There's a paid version as well, just where you can have more things, to use in your video. So I would suggest CapCut, honestly. It's on the computer and you can use it on a phone as well. Okay, even if June did $33,000 a year, Alana would have $394,000. Yep, $394,000 exactly. If she did $33,000 a year, which is what now Alana makes in 3 months, Yes, you can ask a question. Look right here. I see that you're asking if you can ask a question. You can ask a question. Pumpkin and Alana should be getting paid $33 a month. Yeah, I agree. I think June should be getting paid less, honest. And she should have been the past few years. There were episodes to where June was nowhere to be found. And Alana and Pumpkin carried the show for 2 seasons. Who was Michael? Michael is Anna Cardwell's ex-husband. Michael and Anna have Kylie together, Anna's youngest daughter, but he also raised Caitlin. Yes, she is being paid by WeTV. I don't think they get paid for reruns. I'll have to ask let me write that down. Ask my source. But I don't think they do. Any more questions? I know one person keeps asking about questions. All of them except Josh asked for money on lives in one way or the other. That is true. And I know one time, back when they first started TikTok, Pumpkin got on TikTok and was saying how they were about to lose their vehicle, that their vehicle was about to be repossessed, and people started sending in donations. And Josh got upset. He's like, send it back. Send it back. So Alana been on TV since she was 6. She used that poor girl's money to fund all their lifestyle. June bought cars for the older girls, paid for Jesse's college, and now Alana has nothing. Exactly. All right, you guys. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to end it there. Thank you all for hanging out with me today, going over the recap. We're going to do this again next week. And, due to like whatever's going on in life and how busy I am and sick I am and everything, sometimes I like for the recap to happen on Mondays, but sometimes I just can't make it happen on Mondays. Alana needs to hire a good contract manager and negotiate better. And she needs Kale Lowry, what is a financial advisor as well. Alana made the show. Yep. That's so true. I agree, Jessica. So I have a lot of sources when it concerns this family. So if this is a family, I have a lot of new people in chat today. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. I have a lot of sources. I have family members that are sources. I have people very close to family members that are sources. So if you like to keep up with this family, even Dodo on her TikTok has said several times, Elle Bee has receipts and she is right on the nose with my family. So if you'd like to follow this family, please subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you. But since these shows were pre-filmed, I wonder what's going on with the whole situation now because Anna wasn't in the shows they are playing now. No. Okay. So what they're filming now, Anna has been in a couple episodes, but I will tell you that when Anna was alive, she was doing TikToks during all this time as well. And she said that she would film a little bit, especially around like her treatment and stuff. And I was also, oh, thank you, Jessica. I was also told that Anna had kind of confided saying that the family only reached out to her concerning like filming. June and Justin was there for treatment, but they usually wanted to like record themselves at treatment to make sure it went out for them to use it on the show. And that if it wasn't something that could, and that she questioned that, like if that was the only, did they really want to be around her or was it only for like the show, because she told some people that, she really didn't hear from them much unless it was like about filming. So it just kind of made her wonder, anyways. So I hate that she had to question that, but I love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. We're going to be back later. I'm going to try to get the second part of the Ruby Frankie, 8 passengers, Jody Hildebrandt, all that body cam footage coming out. I'm going to try to get the second part of that out today. So we're going to go over Ruby being arrested, her interrogation with the police, kind of do a little body language analysis. There's not much because she didn't do anything, but there's a little bit. We're going to go over a phone call that one of the officers made to his superiors detailing how awful the scene was in regards to our Frankie. And then we're going to go over them going through the house where they found a secret vault. It looks like a gun safe, but inside of it, there's a pull-down bed, there's a toilet, there's a refrigerator, and there was evidence of them cuffing and roping the kids up in one of the cabinets. So we're going to try to do that for the rest of the day. Also, you guys, please keep in prayer everyone affected by the Baltimore Key Bridge collapsing, that the barge running into it. I saw that this morning and I can't even, I have a fear of bridges, and this has made it 10 times worse. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show it to you guys really quickly. This happened at about 1 o'clock this morning. Let me see. They go to court on April 16th. All right, so, all right, let's see if we can back it up to see what actually happened. All right, you guys, so I don't know if y'all can see that. So a barge ran right into this bridge, you guys. Look at that. Look at that. There were cars on the bridge. This happened at about 1:30 this morning. Rescue agencies have been there. You know, they were there immediately. They are still there. I actually saw a comment from somebody saying, I was just on that bridge at 8:30 last night. Let's see what the scene is like. Let's see. Press conference. Y'all, look at this. Oh yeah, cars went into the water. No, it was 1:30 in the morning. There's 6 cars. Last I heard, there were 6 cars still unaccounted for. I'm not sure how much Justin gets paid, but I do think June negotiates for her men, and she tries to make sure she negotiates well. You know what I'm saying? Well, it happened at 1:30 in the morning. So if they're still unaccounted for, then I can tell you it's not good. Can't the families sue who owns the bridge? Oh, probably. I would have to imagine they could. And I showed my husband this because my husband has, you know, he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to he worked in the oil field for many, many, many years. My brother-in-law actually worked on a boat similar to this. And they're like, yes, somebody was not paying attention.
Hope Tommy or another reporter will follow up on is he couldn't say how many passenger vehicles were on the bridge at the time. And we have heard officials say that they have identified vehicles underwater. Possibly it's vehicles from that construction crew, the 6 still unaccounted for people that the State Department of Transportation had said they believe were working on that pothole refilling project on the bridge at the time.
So that's another thing too, is there was a construction crew on the bridge, from my understanding. They were doing the construction at night because during the day the bridge is so extremely busy. So at night they had a construction crew on the bridge, fixing a pothole, and when the bridge was hit, they all went in. They'll sue the barge owner. Yeah, that's what I would assume, that they would sue the barge owner. But my husband was like, somebody was not paying attention. He's like, not just one person, but many people were not paying attention. Oh, Spikes girl. Absolutely. I'm so glad you joined us. 6 a.m. here. Oh, wow. It's 2:34 here. Get you some rest. Anyways, I love you guys. Please be in prayer for everyone affected by the bridge. To think that there's cars underwater. It was 1:30 in the morning. Me too, Stephanie. Me too. That just unlocked an even bigger fear of bridges for me. Exactly. I'm curious how Alana claims all that money people are giving her on her taxes. I don't know. I don't know. I think TikTok may sound like a 1099 or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll be back later. Ruby Frankie and all of that. Yes, there were workers on the bridge too. Yep, there were construction crew workers. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're at 2 hours. This has been a long one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.